My name is AJ. I'm 27, and this year alone, our practice is going to generate over $1 million in revenue. And you're probably thinking, I work 12-hour plus days. I have no life outside of business. But the reality is, I'm happily married with two amazing sons. I get to work out in the morning. I get to help other practice owners build their own business. And I spend majority of the time doing what I love with who I love, all while building $1 million plus a year business. And we've been able to generate a lot of money working the least amount of hours possible. And today I want to show you a system I use to be able to manage family time, working out, and consulting, all while building $1 million a year plus business. It's this one thing that separates six-figure practices from seven-figure practices, and a Harvard study just proved me right. Businesses that master this one thing are 50% more likely to dominate the market. And at the end of this video, I'm going to show you the exact weekly system that's transformed our practice. But first, let me show you the costly mistake I see practice owners making every single day that guarantees they'll stay stuck. Let's get into it. This next part might feel uncomfortably familiar, and if it does, I want you to know it means you're one decision away from everything changing. Here's what I see happening to 95% of practice owners that are closing their doors. They are brilliant at what they do. They're amazing at helping people heal. They're changing lives, and they have a wait list, right, of people who just want and need their help, but they're drowning. They wake up every morning, immediately jump into crisis mode. Client cancellations to reschedule, insurance claims got denied, staff calling in sick, billing issues from last week that still aren't resolved, and they're working 60, 70, sometimes 80 hours a week. And somehow they're falling further and further behind. So what do? They think, I need more clients. I need to hire another therapist. Maybe I should add group therapy or intensive outpatient programs, or they're trying to solve capacity problems. But adding more complexity to an already broken foundation is not going to help. But here's what the successful practice owners do. All right, stay with me. The ones who scale to multiple locations, who work 30 hours a week while their practice runs themselves. And here's what they know that the other 95% don't. And in just 5 minutes, I'll show you exactly what to systematize first in your practice. But this next part is crucial to understand. You don't need to be a tech genius to automate your practice. You just need this shift in your thinking. Isn't to work harder. The goal is to build machines and build systems that work for you. And I think that's where we go wrong oftentimes. So, like I said in the video, Harvard already did the study for me. In the Harvard Business Review, they analyzed thousands of businesses, and they found that the companies that regularly optimize their processes are 50% more likely to outperform their competitors. Not 5%, not 10%, 50% more likely. But here's the key. It's not just building a system, it's automating the system. Most practice owners I work with, they'll create checklists for intake. They'll write down their process. They think they've built a system, but they're still the ones running the checklist every single time. They're still the ones who have to remember to follow up on late payments. They've built a system that still requires them to babysit every single step. Now, the difference between a system and an automated system is this. The system tells you what to do. An automated system does it for you. Now, which one do you think is better? See everyone here on the left side pushing the block? This guy easily rolling and is ahead of them. They're working harder, but they're not progressing as far as this person. Same this illustration right here. And even just think about your smartphone. You get a text, your phone doesn't tell you, hey, you should probably make a sound so they know that you have a message. It automatically makes a sound, it automatically shows a notification, it automatically organizes it in the right conversation thread. If you ever said, I just need to hire one more person, this next example will completely change how you think about your practice. Now, for the system mindset, let me tell you something about Raising Cane's. And now you're probably thinking, what does chicken fingers or a chicken finger chain have to do with my therapy business or my practice? Everything. This is Todd Graves. He is the founder and CEO, and he didn't just build a restaurant, all right? He built a machine, a system that sells one thing really well over and over again. Every Raising Cane's in the world operates exactly the same. Every location has the same menu, same layout, and the same operations with the same standard of quality. And yes, as of this year of 2025, it's at a 12.3 billion valuation as a business. Chicken fingers, French fries. And fun fact, it was actually my first job in high school. And trust me, it always sounded like a good idea. Now, with that though, a teenager who's never worked a day in their life can walk into Cane's, get trained within a week, and run that operation during their shift. Not because they're geniuses, but because every single process has been systematized. Like people walk in the cash register, they yell, get a head count to the kitchen. As soon as they get the head count, they stop dropping bird or they get into the grease. And the presentation of the food goes a certain way on the dish because we eat with our eyes and you want to go back every time for that consistent, fresh, good looking meal that you remember. It's replicable, predictable, and it's profitable. Now, here what's wild. Most practice owners resist this. They say, but therapy isn't Cane's. This is personal work. This is creative work. Every client is different. And they're right. Every client is different. Now, here's the crazy part. When you systematize your practice, your therapy actually gets better. Let me show you why. But think about this. Do you explain your cancellation policy differently to every client? Do you use different intake forms for every person who walks through the door? Do you verify insurance differently for each client? Of course not. There are dozens of processes in your practice that are exactly the same every single time. And right now, you're manually managing all of them. Here's what's even more interesting. When you systematize these back-end processes, it actually improves your clinical outcomes. And why? Because instead of spending mental energy remembering whether you sent the insurance pre-authorization or you're wondering if the client's paperwork is even complete, your brain is free to actually just focus on what you do best, helping people heal. Now, most practices systematize in the wrong order, and that's exactly why they stay overwhelmed. But this is how to fix it. Don't skip this part. You aren't most practice owners. All right, so now you're like, so what do I systematize first in my practice? Well, this is where most practice owners mess up. They try to systematize everything all at once, or they start with the wrong things. There's a hierarchy I use and always advise to use. So let's get into it. First one is the client flow system, right? First, you systematize how people become clients from the moment someone calls your practice to the first appointment. Automated scheduling, intake forms that populate through your EHR system automatically, and insurance verification that happens without you touching it yourself. A reminder system that reduces the no-shows. This is very important. And this is one of the tools I built out for our practice that we use. And it shows us the lifeline. And so we can see which phase each client's at. So if they get stuck somewhere or there's a drop off that happens, we know exactly where it happened. All right. And we have notes and everything else. This is just a screenshot of it. Now, once you have that in place, let's go into clinical documentation. This should actually probably be set up simultaneously, but I'll just put it at level 2. Now, this is your treatment plans that generate themselves based on the assessment data, right? So progress notes with templates, game changer. having those templates, especially when your team's struggling with notes, get those templates. Now, they can adapt to different modalities, billing codes that auto-populate based on the session type. Game changer and save you so much time. Why do you have to go research it? Why do they have to bother you in Slack or business chat every time asking for your help? It should just be there for them to access. Now, once you have that set up, you need your operation system, right? So whatever you're using. Now, staffing, scheduling, inventory management, projects, maybe some financial reporting. This can be an Excel sheet, like wherever you are getting started, but something that has real data being tracked and accounted for. And also your client retention tracking. We use this in the system above, where we have dates in there so we can see how long we're serving our clients on average. So we know what the lifetime value is of them and how long until they reach an X amount of goal, right? Until you get them from A to Z. All this stuff can be tracked with the right systems. And then within that, you'll have insurance, being able to manage your insurance in there and billing stuff. This is an actual screenshot of our previous ones, backdated. But finally, you're gonna have a growth system, right? You gotta have one of those. This marketing that runs a referral program that manages itself, outcome tracking that demonstrates your effectiveness. Still think systems are expensive and complicated? Now, here's one tool that we use that has all this, because the thing is, most of these systems already exist. You don't have to build stuff out. You can just find the right one that works for you and that you can easily implement, right? And the one that is most worth paying for, in my personal opinion, is EHR system, and that has the scheduling software, the billing software, just a platform that can handle all that, and they can do like 80% of it automatically. You just haven't set them up the right way. Now, we use Simple Practice. It has all of this in it, and you can do the scheduling, the reminders, the billing can be handled through it, and I think they even added a function to where your website can go through that. We don't use that feature, but the fact that you can just start off with this is a great way to just transition over and learn how to use it. Let me give you a quick example. We were spending 30 hours a week and more on admin, billing, and operation tasks. Just by automating the intake process and setting up some automatic insurance verification, we cut down to 2 and rarely like 4 hours a day. That's 18 hours back in our life every single week. What would you do with an extra 18 hours a week? Write it down. And none of this works unless you have this one habit in place. It took us 2 years and tens of thousands of dollars to even crack this and figure this out. Every Sunday, I sit down with my wife and do my clarity hour. One focused session where I map out all the priorities for the week, the commitments, and my non-negotiables so the week doesn't run me and I run it, right? So here's exactly how it works. So step one is the weekly review. You are going to want to look at your previous week and what systems worked, what broke down, where did I get pulled into manual work, what should have been automated, and write down every single instance where you had to personally just intervene in processes and it was a lot of your energy and your time. All right. After you do that, you need to do the priority map. What's a priority map? Is you identifying your 3 most important outcomes for the upcoming week. Not task, outcomes. There's a difference. What absolutely has to happen for the week for you to be successful? What is that thing? And then I ask, what systems need to exist to make these outcomes inevitable? Set yourself up for success. Now, once you have that in place, boom, you can start building out your own personalized system. Pick one broken process from step 1 and fix it permanently, not with a band-aid solution, but with a system that ensures it never breaks again. Maybe it's creating automated follow-up sequence, client cancellations. Maybe it's setting a workflow that tracks which clients are approaching their sessions limits. And maybe it's more personal. For example, when I was going to the gym and I had to work on waking up in time to go to the gym at 4 a.m. because my rest of my day was so busy, I used to set my phone like right next to me on the stand, hit snooze, wake up like, hey babe, did you turn off my alarm? She's like, no, you turned off your alarm. What I did differently, I put it across the room where I had to get out the bed physically, a system, and turn it off. Now I'm awake. I already did the hard part, which is getting out the bed, and I just gotta get dressed and head to the gym. Too easy. You don't need more time. You need a better system for how you use it. This last piece is what locks this all in. The non-negotiables. I block out my calendar for upcoming events, projects, and week to work on for the business. Not just in it, so I can work on the business. This is sacred time that doesn't get moved for nothing at all. I have it blocked out and it's valuable because not even staff meetings, because that's it. Because with that time, it's going to move your business to that next phase. You think that it's you always intervening and micromanaging. No, you are the entrepreneur. You are the CEO. The most powerful tool and skill that you have is your brain, thinking stuff through, processing, and getting stuff executed. All right. That's it. 1 hour every Sunday. But here's why it works every week. You're building one more system that removes you from the day to day operations. After 6 months, you're going to have 26 new automated systems running your practice. Now, this is how you scale without burning out. And this is how you build a business that serves your life instead of consuming it. That is the most valuable thing you can do for yourself is create a system that allows your business to serve you more than you serve others, right? If you want to dive deeper into this or need some other systems for you to go ahead and implement that you can execute on, I'll go and tap video here for you to check out. Now, let's start with this on Sunday. Set aside that 1 hour, follow these steps through and through, and watch what happens to your practice, to your business in the next 30 days. Your clients need you focused on what you do best. Your family needs you present when you're home, and you deserve to build a practice that creates freedom, not just income. See you in the next one.